happy that you can be with us tonight. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. How are you?
Listen, blessed, highly favored, and good to be alive, okay? To
I
be able to
know
sit
that.
here and have this conversation tonight.
Yes. Blessed, highly favored, and happy to be here. Love you.
Yes. So for guys, I know while everybody else is coming in, welcome guys. Listen, this is of course your favorite host, Aisha Lewis Redway. Of course, my beautiful co-host Danielle couldn't be with us tonight, but she's here in spirit. And we are here with a brand new episode for Indie Talks. And tonight we have Grammy nominated. I mean, Soul Train, Stellar, Dove. I mean, the accolades keep on going. Singer, producer, songwriter, Mr. Alvin Garrett. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Hey, just excited like you.
Yes.
Riding
So
away, making waves.
yes, I love that. So we're going to jump right into this because I know you're probably booked and busy. Got a lot of things going on. So first of all, I know you are an Alabama native. You are an amazing hands-down songwriter. I want you to kind of give us your story and how you kind of digged into, story, songwriting and going telling your story and that journey in your music.
Okay. Well, I am from Alabama, born and raised in Tuscaloosa, so by default, roll tide. That out there, roll tide. I like to say I'm a preacher's kid.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was also a coal miner. Mom started off as a housewife, a mother, but started on business. She was a businesswoman at heart. So I had the pleasure of growing up in a spiritual, love-filled household that really established my roots, right? My roots were really established just in love, hope, faith, and hard work. Fell in love with the bass guitar at the age of 11, where my dad bought me a bass and prayed for my hands to learn how to play. Now, he ain't got a musical bone in his body. So I ain't one of them families where that's what we did all our life. He prayed like, Lord help him.
Yes. He's like, you're going to get this talent.
I'm going to get this talent. I'm going to put it in there, Lord. And I learned how to play, and that was my first love of music, was the bass guitar. The majority of my career, that was the foundation. But of course, came to Birmingham, where I live now and have lived since '96, to play football, get a college degree in business management,
Okay.
but with the idea that I wanted to make a living doing music. And I kept at it, worked corporate for a couple of years, and then left and took that leap in 2002 to make music my first love and the way I do my life. And so I've been a musical entrepreneur since 2002 full time. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
And I have a family, you know what I mean? I've grown from being a musician to a musical director to having my own business. So in terms of the full scope of what I've done in music as a songwriter, now an artist, I say I've worked from the mailroom to the boardroom. I mean,
Yes.
I mean, from engineering to sound production, when I say I have pretty much touched every level of it in my career, and I appreciate that journey because it gives me an intimate understanding now as having my own entertainment company, my own label, promoting my own music. I understand the inner workings of how each part plays a role in making things function.
Yes.
So yeah.
Would you say, since you have experienced those different levels in, as a musician, as an artist, and as a songwriter, has one of those been a little bit more challenging for you to really get a handle on, or that taught you more to where you at now?
Well, like you say, each level has always come with its own, share of challenges and opportunities as well. So even as a musician, as a bass guitarist, that comes with the good, the bad, the ugly, you're competing. Then as a business owner, I think, but on a personal level, the transformation into an artist was the biggest for me, because as a musician, as every other role I've ever done, I could do it in the background. Right? I could do it, be successful at it behind the scenes, or off to the side. But I'm a leader in spirit. Like I'm that type of person. Like I'm meant to be out front, but I was okay being important in other roles. But once it was time to become an artist and I bought into it, that's when the transformation happened for me. But also when I discovered my own insecurities. Now, that's when I discovered my own insecurities, because I didn't have to compare myself to all the great singers I had written for, because I ain't trying to be out there. But when it's like, okay, it's my turn to step out front, now the comparison happens. Like, oh, I don't sound like Joe. I hear myself as a demo of Joe. And so for me,
you going right into my next question.
Well, I'll let you ask your question,
No,
but that's
go keep going, because you're hitting right on it, because I was gonna say, like, we even with a lot of articles and research that I've done on you, there was a lot of comparisons in music, like you said, Joe, Sam Cooke, Al Green, Kim, and one of my questions is, now that you're out front as an artist, how do you kind of stay true to yourself, kind of stay from out going into the trends and saying like, oh, I'm gonna run these sounds like how I hear these other soul R&B artists go?
Well, I didn't fashion myself after any of the people I'm compared to. Like I didn't want to say, "Ooh, I want to be like that." Right? That I never did, because in my mind, my ego was around, I'm making y'all sound good.
Right.
Like, you sound like me, right?
Right.
So I mean, I'm just keeping it real. I listen to Joe's music, I hear myself because I wrote it. I arranged the vocals. You sound great, but I'm saying the journey of saying, well, what is my voice? Because I spent so much time making music for other people, but then saying, well, now I got to hear my own voice. And that was of the journey for me, is saying, okay, what's my authentic voice when I'm feeling the most like myself? What do I sound like? Right. And that really happened for me during the pandemic, because there was no reason to try to sell anything. So the burden of trying to create a sound that fits radio, the burden of trying to create a song that the fans gonna like. See, when that was removed, that's when I discovered me the most, because it was pure. It was just, I'm saying what I want to sing and what I want to hear myself saying. And that's when I started becoming an artist, right? Always able to write great songs, always able to translate what I feel inside through my songs. But when I became an artist is when I stopped caring what you think, right? And I started loving it for myself. You know what I'm saying? And that's when the Alvin Garrett that I'm proud of. And that has been a journey for me.
I love that. You creating music for you, because I think that a lot of newer artists, they make music based on what everybody is doing and what they think they want to hear, like I said, just kind of jump on the trend train. And I think that it's so pure to hear music that, you feel like, if everybody's not on this right now, I'm on it.
Yeah.
They're going to get on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love that.
And it takes a whole lot of it's not easy. The trend is easy, but it may be short-lived as well.
Right.
So I don't knock people who follow trends and they can pull it off, make a living for themselves, or make a way. Because it's a lot of sand at the beach. If you can build a sand castle by looking at somebody else's sand castle and people stop just for a second, look at your sand castle, good for you, right? Good for you. So I don't advise people for taking that path. For me, I'm a good business person, and I could take a slower path to get here because I could afford to, and I knew how to not give up what I love to do, even if I have to do it on a different level, right? And so everybody ain't built like that. You know what I mean? Everybody ain't built. I can do 20 to 25 things to make money. You see, I mean, and I'm not even joking. In terms of skills and trades put under my belt to take care of myself and my family. But if all I could do was be an artist, I don't know if I wouldn't compromise and
just get up.
try. Cause my stomach is telling me to do that.
like I got to eat.
I gotta eat. So yeah,
Listen,
you know. I see.
And
Baby.
right.
Yeah. Jump up on it.
I love it. Now I kind of want to go into, because you definitely talk about all these skills and songwriting. You have I mean an amazing, just catalog of artists that you have collaborated with, that you are. So let's get into your songwriting, because you have collaborated with such artists like PJ Morton, Kelly Rowland. Of course, you got your Soul Train Award, you got your Dove. We're gonna get into that though, but talk about some of these artists and these collaborations. What can you say? Tell us about the most memorable collaborations that you feel that was a good experience, or just an overall experience for you. That's something that you just feel like, oh, now this right here, this it.
Yeah. Well, I'll say that Joe, the R&B artist Joe, is at the top of the list of my, experiences, because I was a big, huge fan. I'm gonna keep it real, I'm huge.
Who wouldn't want to work with Joe?
Who wouldn't want to work with Joe? So as a young writer, when I write my songs and aspire for somebody to sing them, he would be one of those artists. Like, man, if Joe's to sing this song, that's a whole nother level. So I would sometimes imagine listening to Joe singing a song and thinking, like, he could do this much better than me, right? And so when I got, and I had worked with other artists along the way before I got my first big placement and single with Joe, which was I'd Rather Have a Love. So much love to every single artist I've worked with along the way, because they all helped me become who I am. But that particular opportunity really brought it home to me that I had sort of accomplished something that I dreamed about. Like, wow. I think that song, I'd Rather Have a Love, went top 5 on the R&B Billboard charts. And that was my first chart-topping single. And so, and I never worked in the studio with him. Interesting enough, I never had a chance to actually get in the lab. I always created my own demos in my own studio, sent them to the team, and he would record them in his studio. And I did meet him one time, great story, when he came to Birmingham. He was touring, promoting I'd Rather Have a Love. And I went backstage and met him for the first time. He stopped his VIP meeting. He stopped everything and sat and talked to me for like 30 minutes. They standing in line like, what's going on? Hurry up, I want to meet Joe. He sat down.
Money.
He sat down for 30 minutes and just vibed. And he was like, and I mean, this really lifted me. So hopefully he'll hear this one day. But he said, and I'm saying, Joe, man, when I first heard your version of my song, I figured you was gonna make it better and change it, but you just kind of kept it the same. He said, what? He said it was perfect. He said, I didn't want to mess it up. I didn't want to change nothing. He said, man, I heard that demo and I was like, who did this? He said, and I'm a writer. He said, so I didn't want to mess up the arrangement because it made me feel so good listening to it. And he said, man, keep doing what you're doing. I was like, oh my God. Like, he said, keep doing what you're doing. Don't change. He said, because you got something special just the way you are. And that built me up as a writer and as an artist. In that one meeting, I've only sat with him one time, and I probably got like 13 songs with him. But just that affirmation from someone I looked up to saying, I sing the song the way you wrote it because you wrote it great already. And I don't have to feel greatness. So for somebody like Joe to speak that into a younger artist and writer like myself, that means a lot. And so I've not had a chance to tell him that directly. So I put that out there in the universe because I want people to know that those types of things happen good, and so that's the best experiences I've had as a writer, on a personal level,
Okay, that's amazing. It's good to hear that, because sometimes as artists, especially when you're stepping out into something that you love, of course we're human. We can doubt, we can have all these questions, we can sit here and just like, what if? But to hear someone that you really just, you're a fan of, and now they're a fan of you. you know, and that you'll be able to collaborate and really work together, like hands down. I know that had to be inspirational.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Now I want to talk about, so first of all, with all the songwriting, you collaborating, let's get into these accolades. Okay. So not only are you Grammy nominated, okay, you are a winner of Soul Train Award, you are the winner of also the Dove and Stellar Award.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to kind of talk about those experiences and how, you know, like life-changing that is, just to be this amazing songwriter. Like, did you ever think about that?
Well, I have to give a shout out to, I say, my accomplices, right? And I encourage any and everybody, when you hear about networking and relationships and how important they are, every one of my awards came because of who I collaborated with, because of my team, right? Because of the people I connected myself, I work with, like my man Fred Jerkins. We just talked a little bit earlier. Fred Jerkins of Dog Child Entertainment. I got my Grammy nomination through him, my Dove Award through him, my Stellar Award through him. But it was his faith in me that gave me an opportunity to even be in the room. Right? I'm from Alabama. I keep it real. You don't run into all of these people. So it was hard getting on and getting, like, I had the talent, no question. Right. But it was hard getting access to a lot of these opportunities until one or two people had faith in me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna always shout out those one or two people who say, yo, I think you got it, come along. And Fred Jerkins was one of those people who said, let me teach you how to become great. Let me help you refine your greatness. Let me challenge you. Let me teach you about the business. And that's what led to a lot of those accomplishments. And of course, his accomplishments far exceed mine because he's been in the game a lot longer, you know, but because, and I didn't go in the door with this whole, what about me? You owe me this. How much money you gonna sign me for? And da-da-da-da-da. I was like, teach me what you know. And far beyond that contract, far beyond the paper, that's my friend. And I got my first Billboard #1. Right, dude, that with no contract, just relationship. And so I tell anybody, you know, don't go in because of your talent thinking you deserve a W. And let your humility get you in the room and serve, and you're gonna get your W as long as you contribute to the room. You know what I mean? So much of my career and the amazing work I've done, most people don't know I've done it. You know what I'm saying? So when my time comes, like it's coming now, I can say, you know, I'm grateful, and I can bring a lot to the table because I've been here all the time. You know what I'm saying?
I just, you said a few important things about that, especially about when you're coming into the room and when someone's bringing you in, you know, not to walk in as if someone owe you something, basically. I'm just summarizing. Not as if someone owe you something, but come in, and then the fact that you said that you still came in, regardless of knowing your skills and the capacity in which you can write and your talent can go, you still wanted to learn. You still wanted to get something from that individual.
Right.
And I think that's so important, like to be humbled and to be able to come in and just with a willing heart to still learn, be on your P's and Q's, but still learn. Right. And understand from those who are surrounding you in that room. So that I love that. I want you to kind of go into like your creative process. Like, do you ever, you know, feel like, you know, I'm writing, I'm getting these hits, I am, you know, in this mode, but do you ever feel like there's times where you just have that block? And if you do have that block, what are some techniques that you do for yourself, either for through self-care or whatever, to kind of get you over those hindrances?
Good question. When it comes down, like, as where I am now, I don't have as many writer's blocks as I used to in my younger part of my career. And I'll tell you what caused my blocks. It's because I was trying to sell something, right? So say, for instance, I'm getting a list of who's looking, because any writer out there know, get the who's looking list, right? And so you're thinking, well, what would this artist want to hear? Or what are they wanting to say? And you're trying to pretend to be somebody, but you don't have enough information. So that caused me writing block because I'm like, I know I can write a great song. It's like, send me something hot. You mean lava hot, jalapeno hot, Alabama hot, Arizona hot? You want me to guess? But you can't talk to the artist and figure out who they are, what they want to say, what direction to mark. You don't have enough information, and then you writing in the dark. Now that, for me, created the block because I'm guessing. But now, no, I don't have writer's blocks because I know what I want to say. And because I've been in the game long enough, if somebody come in the room with me, you need to follow me to help you learn what you want to say. So we're not going to have no blocks because we're going to talk. And now, since I got you, what's sexy to you? I can have a conversation with you, get to know you, get to know your desires, and I can write a song if I got information. That's the thing for me, in my experience. I just need to know what I'm trying to say to the listeners or to myself. And oftentimes, I think people run into those writer's blocks because they're guessing. And they don't know if people going to like. They don't know if people going to think this is a cool line. So they're not free. So writer's block comes from a lack of freedom and a lack of conviction about what it is you want to say. And the fear of judgment of what people going to think when they hear what you had to say. So you second guessing yourself before they even heard anything. So, I don't know. So then you give up, or you get tired, or you listen to it like it no more because you're listening through the ears of people. It's that experience that causes writer's block, I believe. And then some people may experience it because they don't have the talent to write like that. Well, that's where you need a good team to help you pull your ideas out. You know what I'm saying? So anytime you got to do what's best for you to get over it. You know what I'm saying? And my creative process is scientific in some ways. I actually teach a class and developed a curriculum of how to process and write songs. But for me,
we're gonna talk about the program.
Yeah, but it's spiritual for me. I listen, and if I hear a song, I'm like, what is the music saying to me? I can just close my eyes and I hear it. Like I hear the song in the music. So when I write, I'm not forcing a concept into the music that don't belong there. Like, what does it make me feel? Let me write what I'm feeling, you know?
That I love that. Oh my goodness. You are just saying so many gems. I really hope even with those who are on here, those who's going to watch this, like they really pay attention to it because it's so amazing. And I do want you to talk about your program before we transition and talking to you as an artist and the music and the albums that you have. First of all, talk about The Right Life. You do work with youth. You do have this developed songwriting program where is that help individuals or young people really come and work on their creativity and other things. You're this big mentor. So I want you to talk about it, like, and shed some light on this program.
Awesome. Real quick, one of the producers that helped me with this program just joined in. His name Alvin. What up, bro?
Hello. Welcome.
Brothers who's super duper talented, who helped create some music for one of my classes, especially during the pandemic, and for a program here in Birmingham that I'm at now called the Danae Project, which is a prison reentry program, workforce development. And I came with this program as an elective class to teach not only just songwriting, but to provide opportunity for conflict resolution, group therapy, and just taking that experience of talking about your trauma, talking about your life, and then turning that into songs. And one of the beautiful things about this program is you can bring, because most of the people that we serve have, the way they talk, the hood language, all of that, you can't take that to the workplace. It may work where you're from, but it won't work where you're going, right? Don't mean right or wrong, that's your opinion, but it won't work where you're going.
Right. So
the cussing, the misogyny, the violence, bring it into the class, get it out, but then I'm asking you, what story are you trying to tell? You really want me to understand? Do you want me afraid of you? Do you want me thinking you're going to shoot me because I stepped on your shoes? No. And then they'll tell you what their trauma actually is. and it's a beautiful story. You understand that human being. And I said, now, let me teach you how to write the same song minus all of this other stuff. Now, can you write the song again? Can I teach you to write your story, the right life, without misogyny, without hatred, without violence, but without taking you and your story away as well? And some of the most beautiful things happen when you challenge them and they to just speak a different language, but don't change your story. And so the goal of the program is not just to teach you to write a hit, but to teach you to write your life, to say, oh, I can actually live the way I write. I can go make decisions and choices and dream, and I'm in control of the way I'm in control of this song, right? So it's a therapeutic program. It's musical, but it's also like a life coaching thing too, you know.
Yes. And would you say like the most important thing that you do talk to the students and also those who you are helping is about vulnerability? Like that's the most important thing when it is for the songwriting to order to happen, for them to let their story be told?
We don't necessarily focus on vulnerability, but
Okay.
that is a part of the process, whether I call it that or not, right? Is letting your guard down and being safe, right? Feeling safe. And I don't have to tell a person to feel safe with me. I can touch them on the shoulder and smile. How you doing, man?
Mm-hmm.
And that safety is over. And that vulnerability happens where it goes like, what's up? You know, or I'm
Yes.
willing to shed a tear where I might have had that bottled up because I don't want nobody judging me. So you don't have to say, you should be vulnerable. You should open up. No, it's a way you make somebody feel, where you talk, you smile at them. It's a compassion that you give them to where vulnerability is okay because you ain't judging me and you ain't trying to take nothing from me either. You only here to help me. And that's when people, they let their guards down, when they really trust that you're not here to take anything from them. And so I treasure that opportunity to, you know, help other people understand that I'm not here for anything. I'm here to give.
Got it. Now that's amazing. And you know, I do have your at up here. So guys, those who are on here, those who are going to see this later, please make sure that you are following. I'm quite sure you can go to links in their bios and to see, you know, the connection and how to be able to see how this is something you can be a part. Is it something publicly you be a part of, or is it just something in
One day
Alabama right now?
one day in the future, I'm
Okay.
going to offer as just sort of a master class type of thing. But for now,
Gotcha.
I work with youth organizations. As a matter of fact, I just went to Chicago a couple of weeks ago and worked with an organization that mentors young men. That part for me is what I really try to do, is use it because it is an opportunity to teach people to, like you said, to be vulnerable, and you hear amazing conversations. So it's more of a purpose-driven thing that goes beyond just the songwriting piece.
Yeah.
But at some point, I do believe that's something I'll offer as a public thing. But for now, I work with organizations that serve, you know, that population.
Gotcha.
And schools.
Anything coming to New York anytime
Right.
soon?
All I
Or
need is an invitation. All I need is an
I
invitation.
don't know. We're gonna have to work something out. Maybe with my sorority,
Yeah.
something. We're gonna have to. We gonna have to. We're gonna chat after offline on this.
Love that. Love it.
Of course. First of all, let's get into the music. Let's get into the artist side of you.
Okay.
You have your most recent single, as of right now, Till I Get Back to You. So I want you to kind of talk about, you know, this story and development, because your music, in a lot of your music, you have a way to just talk about love, talk about inspiration, just kind of talk about it in a sense that it's just like, oh my God, it just makes you feel so good. Like nice,
Yeah.
like feel good, grown up, like just good.
Yeah.
Overall. I want you to definitely talk about this single, this release. You have projects going back all the way to 2012. And just like I said, I just can't get enough of the way you story tell. So go into this single and give us the story behind this one.
I would love to. Okay. First, let me say I just found out yesterday that we're 15 on the R&B Billboard charts. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yes, congrats.
Thank you. That's pretty good. That's the highest I've ever been as with my own single, and it's 15 and climbing. So very great. But the context of that song really, really was inspired by what we just talked about. Just being around those that might have been incarcerated, right? And just putting myself in the mind frame of what would it feel like if I couldn't get to the one I love? Like if I was locked away, you know what I'm saying? Thinking I got this many days or this many years before I get back to my baby. What would that desperation feel like? You know what I'm saying? I'm looking in the mirror of my mind because that's all I got is a mirror in my memories. And I can see your arms wrapped around me. So I put myself in a cage to write that. And that's that desperation that you hear in the song that says, wow, this feels like he really, really want to get back to me. You know what I'm saying? To where that love and that distance, and it can be anything that keeps you away from who or what you love. And that's the essence of that song is, man, I long to be back with you. I long to be back in your presence. And I'm holding on to the memory of you. I'm holding on to the hope that I can be with you again. So till I get back to you, I'm thinking of and so I found the inspiration by just being in proximity, because I've never been incarcerated, but just being in proximity and being involved in that, I'm like, oh, I can write some music about this. Like, what would that be? And so, but we all are incarcerated in some kind of way. All of us are trapped in some kind of way, big or small. So we can all feel it and relate to it. So if I never told you that inspiration, you still feel the same way. Because you're like, oh, I got to get back to I want somebody to want me that bad.
Listen, let me tell you, this song makes you feel like if you haven't experienced love, or you have experienced love and it just was bad and you just feel like you don't want it no more, this makes you feel like you want to be in love. Okay, like it's given that.
I love it. I love it. And I appreciate that, because when I write love songs, I want, especially my female listeners, I keep it real. I sing to the ladies. I want my female listeners to feel like what you just said. I don't want any female to listen to my music and feel like a piece of meat, or feel like an object, or feel objectified, or feel like I was just a transaction. Even if I write a sensual song, I want her to feel like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? It's a out there that can make you feel, if you listen to it, you like, I don't know if I want to be that girl he talking about. I don't want to be just picked out the crowd like a lotto or something, like just feel like that. You know what I'm saying? So like, even when I write for other artists, when I wrote for Joe, I'd rather have a love than have a life alone. Girl, you about to get me out these streets. Women was like, oh yes, I want a love of my own. You know what I'm saying? That's my choice. I want when women hear my music, I want them to feel like you just described, and I want the fellas to say, hey, yeah, what he said. What he said. To me, that's old school R&B. That's old school R&B, where you listen to a song and it made you imagine being either the deliverer of that message or the recipient of that message. You know what I mean? At least the kind of R&B I used to like listening to.
I was gonna say, because you know how the major topic the past couple of years is whether R&B is dead, and obviously being a lover of music and listening to artists like yourself and like Joe Kim and a lot of 90s R&B and early 2000 R&B, like, no, R&B is not dead. I think that it's just a different audience, it's just a different time, but we still have those loyal people that who loves pure R&B, who loves pure sound, soul music. Like it's just something about it that just resets you. And let me tell you, you have music that's legendary. Like I know I can play 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line, and say, oh, this is it. Like, oh, I gotta put you onto this. Like, this resonates.
You get my flowers. Thank you.
You gotta get them, as you should get them.
Yeah.
I think it's just amazing because I grew up, my father, originally from Georgetown, South Carolina, who sung gospel music, traveled up and down the East Coast, singing during his time on this earth, and had a heart for music. And I think that is very important to really hear real artistry. And I want to talk and want to kind of dig into, because obviously I know you had previous projects. Can you give us an idea with any of your upcoming projects and what's going on, and what direction are you looking to go? Are we still going the love direction? Where are we going? Where are you taking us?
Glad you asked. So January 12th, 2024, dropping my next album, and it's called Safety. SFTY. All right, that's an acronym that was kind of born from songs for the yard. Songs for the yard, right? Because I was inspired. I'm just like, I'm gonna do art. And like I described about Till I Get Back to You, these are songs that come from a place of like, okay, let me be vulnerable. Let me try something musically that I've never done. And it's very honest, and it's about the yard. And so the literal yard for the prison yard, my man's explained to me, he said, hey, that's the place you get to go where you feel free. You ain't free, but it's a taste of freedom. And that was so religious for me when he explained it that way. He said, the guards ain't pointing the guns on you. He said, but that's that 1 hour a day that you get to feel free. And I said, ooh, that's life. If just for a moment we can get away and find the yard in any way possible, no matter who you are, sex, gender, race, poor, everybody need a yard where they can go out and play, where they can let their hair down and feel free. Because I am a believer, and I don't believe we're going to all be free till that time comes. But while I'm here, I want as much taste of freedom as possible, right? And safety is a concept where, okay, where is my safe space to say this is what's ailing me? I have a song called Hopefully Heaven, where it's about an experience where somebody confided in me that they thought about committing suicide. And they're a Christian. But we just send people straight to hell. We don't even listen to them. You going to hell. You commit suicide, you go to hell. But what about that desperation in between that decision? So I wrote a song, Hopefully Heaven Don't Hurt Like This, right? So bottled up, especially for our guys. I mean, I got so much bottled up. I'm about to pop off. But why not pour out? So it's a lot of conversations about that you feel that are mentally health-driven, spiritual health-driven. And this ain't the love song album. This is not that, right? So I'm just keeping it 100. I got the lightness of love for those who want it. I got expose yourself for those who want some Alvin Garrett love bedroom music. I got multiple albums you can go check out for that. But this one is an experience. It's the yard. I'm very proud of this work. I'm very proud of it. And I believe it's going to be one of those iconic projects that people listen to, like you say, for years. And then my next album, I'm bringing it old school R&B, love music again.
Yes. First of all, you like literally had the hairs standing up on my arms just hearing that. Like that, like I can't wait for that project to come out to really hear that. Guys, if you heard exclusive, he said it, January 2024. Yes. Okay. I can't wait to get that project, to hear it, to really kind of soak it in and really have that place where it could take me to my freedom place. Like that. Oh gosh.
To find your yard.
Yes, gotta find my yard. I love that. First of all, I want to say thank you. You said so much and you gave so many gems. When I tell you, you really just poured into this conversation. I love it. You really, really, I just want to say thank you. And I want to honor you for being here with us. This is what this platform is about, just, you know, breaking out these conversations, kind of letting people know their journey and letting them get into your world, climb into your world for a little bit, just to see, you know, how you do things. And first of all, thank you once again just for being here. I mean, you and everybody that just came in and really listened to you, and the upcoming music, of course. So thank you again. Before we wrap up,
Thank you for
the one thing I definitely want to say or ask is, you know, with everything, you know, as a creative, like you wear multiple hats. You work with this program, working with you working with these young men, you working and being creative. It takes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to talk about you balancing within your personal, and also balancing, you know, being able to be in ministry and be able to be in the industry, all the above. Where do you go? Where's your comfort zone, your safe place?
Where's my safe? Where's my yard?
Where's your yard?
Well, my yard is with me wherever I go. Right? I don't work, shall I say. I don't, like, when I'm doing things, I don't feel like I should be doing something else. Does that make sense? Yes. When I'm serving, and be it in the studio, like, it's joyful for me. Like, because I don't choose not, I won't do it if I'm not going to find joy doing it. And I worked very hard, and I went through it to get to a place where no is a full sentence for me. Where no is a full sentence. Like, no, I don't want to write that song for you. No, I don't want to do that gig. No is a full sentence. So that when I say yes, I'm glad about it. And I don't resent doing it. I don't feel like, whew, be glad when it's over. Right? So right. Success, for me, success is that I can say no to things that drain me, that make me feel like I need a vacation from what I love. You feel me? I don't need no vacation from what I love. I live in what I love. So if I'm with my daughters, I love it. If I'm with family, I love it. I choose to be there. To me, that's the closest. If I'm going to be a free man, it means I get to do what I choose to do and love what I choose to do, and not feel like I'm forced to do something else based on a bill, or based on pressure, or based on the fear. So I worked hard to get to a place where I can speak freely as possible, and as respectfully as possible, and say, this is me, and I love it. So when I don't clock in or out. I wake up, go to sleep, but I'm still dreaming when I'm awake and when I'm asleep. I wake up with ideas like, woo, I got an idea. So I live alive, right? I live alive. And that is a journey for most people, but live alive. You know what I'm saying? Live alive. Don't live dying. Don't live existing. Live alive. And you find that space where you living alive. I just got myself happy with that. Live alive.
Listen, is there anything, as we're wrapping up, is there anything, because you have a full career, is there anything you would tell your younger self? Or would there be anything you tell your younger self to change?
No, ma'am. I would tell my younger self, do what you did, because you're going to figure it out later on down the road. You're going to learn from it. You're going to be better from it. But if you don't do it, you might not become who you meant to become. Because I have a song on my album called Fingerprints, and it says the good and the bad work together. And without my mistakes, without my shortcomings, without me being an asshole sometimes, I wouldn't learn how to be graceful. I wouldn't learn how to care about what people feel. I wouldn't have. So I had to hit the rock bottom to get to the top. So I love my journey, right? And I'm not going to live forward trying to get it right and be perfect. That's pressure. That's bondage. So I know that whatever happens next is for a purpose. And that's where the freedom comes, is that I will learn something from it. I will grow from it, and I will certainly survive it if it's tough, and I'll be better for it. So that's my state of mind that allows me not to look back and tell younger me to do anything different. I say, you're going to learn something from this, so just keep living.
I have to end it right there. That was it. That was the word for tonight. Okay. Once again, Alvin, I just want to say thank you so much for gracing your presence through GNS&x. We are very appreciative to have you and be able to speak with you and hear your story, your journey, and the amazing music that you have. And don't forget the new music that is coming out. Everyone that's on here, those who are going to listen to this, definitely please, please, please make sure we support. Just don't hit the download to stream, but we want to purchase. We want to be able to support artists. And it takes a lot to be creative in this field, and it takes money to be in this field. So let's show nowhere better way to show our support, but to make sure that we are supporting and we are downloading and purchasing the music.
And finding the yard. Just buy into the concept, right? Buy into the concept.
I have one question. Do you have any live shows coming up anywhere? Anything? What's going on?
Well, now that the song is really picking up steam, we're starting to get a lot of requests for performances. So I've been very patient. I used to, gig and do a bunch of shows, but I decided to just kind of rest, get things together, and make sure that when it's time to go, I'm going hard. I'll be in Memphis at the end of the month, and like you say, the phone is starting to ring because people are starting to hear the new music. And so I'm very excited about the upcoming months. We're going to be certainly touring in 2024, promoting a new album and just getting out there. So we just coasting. And if we need to come up north, it ain't nothing but a phone call. We move. We know how to move. We get up and go. So I'm definitely excited in being in that area. Are you in the New York area?
Yes, I'm in New York.
Hey, little tip, shout out to New York. I actually mastered my album in New York City. Okay. So I got a little northern touch on the project, northern stuff.
Listen, I need to come see you in person. Now, I know that live set probably gonna be something. Okay, the band, the music, I can hear it now.
Wet dripping, shirt sticking.
Oh my goodness, I can't. I love it. That's what I'm talking about. I love it.
Yeah.
So once again, thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming through. We have to touch base offline, but thank you for giving us great music and just great artistry.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you for.
Well, have a good rest of the day.
You too.
All right, have a good one. Guys, oh my God, so amazing. I mean, just hands down, true artistry. I mean, real, just good music. R&B music is beyond its time. And we want to thank Alvin for coming through, for speaking with us. Of course, Danielle couldn't be with us tonight, but next week she'll be returning. Thank you guys who came in and sat in and joined in the conversation. If you missed this, please on us by noon Eastern time, or we'll have the full interview live for you on our YouTube channel. So please go check out GNS&x on the YouTube. Okay, you can check out our previous Indie Talks interviews that we have had with previous guests. But please make sure you tap in so you can definitely, if you missed out, please tap in so you can see this interview with Alvin Garrett. This was amazing. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in with us. This was an amazing time. Guys, you already know next week, every Thursday, we're right back here, 7 p.m. Eastern time, right along with my beautiful co-host, Danielle. You already know what it is. You see it, guys. It's been a minute since I had this up, but you see it, right? Real music, real style, real people, guys. And you know what? It do not get no realer than this, guys. I am one of your hosts, Aisha Lewis Redway. And so until next week, peace.